contents on this channel are for learning, insight, and introspection.
Highly sensitive person means that your ears, you're ultra sensitive to sounds. You like this? Okay. No, get out of here. If there's too many conversations going on at once, if you go to a restaurant and it's too noisy, you're not going to be able to pay attention to that person that you're talking to. We are super attuned with our hearing. We hear things that other people don't, which means that sometimes we get overstimulated. We get overstimulated by our surroundings. We're also really super sensitive to certain smells. Okay, we can't walk through the perfume department at the Bay. And we see things. We're highly observant. We notice things. We pick up things that other people don't. Our sense of taste is also very particular. And our sense of touch. All of our five senses are ultra sensitive.
Hey, YouTube, you have made your way back to Mind Your Mind with Jess Justified. And you saw the thumbnail, so let's jump right in. As you saw, we are talking about the highly sensitive person, otherwise known as HSP. It is a personality trait characterized by increased sensitivity to external stimuli such as sights, sounds, smells, and emotions. So, some key features are enhanced awareness of subtle cues and details. Hold on. All right. Next, we have deep processing of information and experiences, empathy and compassion towards others, pronounced reactions to overstimulation, and increased susceptibility to stress and anxiety. An estimation of around 15 to 20% of the population exhibits HSP. So it is not a diagnosed medical condition. Let's just put that out there right now. But it is supported by research in psychology and neuroscience. Studies have shown that HSP individuals have differences in brain activity and neurotransmitter levels that may contribute to high-end sensitivity. Though there are overlapping symptoms as sensory processing disorder or anxiety disorders, it requires different treatments. So, here are some difficulties people with HSP individuals, highly sensitive people face with emotional intensity. So some challenges they face is overstimulation. Their environments with overstimulation, because environments with a lot of sensory input, loud sounds, bright lights, or chaotic situations can lead to heightened emotional response. Next, emotional absorption. They're often deeply empathetic and can absorb the emotions of those around them, feeling the stress, sadness, or anger of others as if it were their own. Next, deep processing. They tend to process events and experiences more deeply, which can lead to overthinking or becoming overwhelmed by small setbacks. All right. Then next we have difficulties setting boundaries. They may struggle with saying no or setting boundaries, especially in emotionally charged situations. This can lead to emotional burnout as they may prioritize others' feelings over their own needs. So, here are 5 steps a highly sensitive person can do for overstimulation.
Highly sensitive person, here's 5 strategies I use to help deal with overstimulation. 1. Get out of the situation. When overstimulated, it's easy to freeze and not take evasive action. 2. Close your eyes for a while. It shuts down a major stimulus. 3. Take regular breaks from the situation. 4. Go outside for a while. HSPs are usually soothed by nature. 5. Try taking a walk just for a few minutes. Remember, these things need to be practiced.
So you saw those are five steps, especially when you are overstimulation. Because I do know that for me too, I definitely have like a strong connection to nature, and chaos and everything kind of gets me a little bit, and I kind of like I have a social battery, and I know that now, where I didn't know that before, but I felt it, and now I can have that connection where it's like when I'm around a lot, I can be there and I can be a part of everything and whatever, but then I definitely have a point where I realize my battery is tapped out and I need to kind of pull away and have some time away from everything. Like, so anyway, let's move on. So this next video talks about how to use your sensitivity to your advantage.
Going to use being a sensitive person to your advantage and just get out of that state of like, woe is me, and like, I'm just too fragile for the world and nobody understands me. Okay, like, listen, because I think people don't understand that being sensitive doesn't necessarily mean you're emotionally sensitive. To be sensitive just means that you have a heightened state of awareness to yourself, to other people, or your environment. And everyone who is sensitive is not emotionally sensitive. Like, I'm sensitive, but I don't have big emotions. I don't get offended easily, but I'm very aware of my emotions and I'm very in tune with other people's emotions. And like Tiffany Pollard once said, I was born in the know. Like, I don't know how to tell you, but like, I just be knowing things, okay? Like, I don't even try. And contrary to the conditioning we get from the world, like, I feel like we're all brought up thinking that being a sensitive person is some form of weakness, when it's quite literally the opposite. You're in tune with yourself, you're in tune with others, and you're in tune with your environment. What about that is weak? You have an advantage if you know how to use it. Like, think about it. When people are lying. People who are very sensitive have like such a good BS meter. You don't think that would help you out in business? You don't think that would help you out with finding the right partner? You know how to connect with people emotionally. Like, that is not a weakness. That is a strength. The trick to being able to use your sensitivity to your advantage is you have to know how to separate other people's energies from your own. Being a very sensitive person can almost make you feel like a sponge because you're just so in tune with your outside world. On one hand, that can be really great, but on another hand, that can make you just absorb everything that's going on around you. And if you're not careful, you will internalize everything that you pick up on, and then you start to feel shameful because you think something's wrong with you because you just had like all of these hits coming in, all of these emotions, and you don't understand that some of those emotions are not yours. And this is the thing, nothing is wrong with you. Your antenna just picks up on a little bit more than the average person. Like, you get a few extra stations. You got like the premium package. You have to learn how to be more of an observer than a participant in other people's emotions and your environment. Once you understand how to create that barrier between you and other people, you will start to feel like you have a superpower, because you kind of do.
All right, so those are some how to use it to your advantage, because it's not necessarily a negative thing. It's about understanding it and knowing how to move accordingly in this world, right? So here are some traits of a highly sensitive person. All right, so here are some traits. So it says, all right, deeply affected by other people's moods. We've heard a couple of these already throughout this video, but just to kind of reinforce, it says, you know, as I said, deeply affected by other people's moods, not so good, not so great under pressure. Okay. Empathetic, that's another. Not a big fan of loud noises or strong smells. All right. Sensitive to pain. Easily overwhelmed by stimuli. Rich inner life and imagination. Observant and intuitive. Feels deeply and cries often. And lastly, reacts more strongly to criticism. So, what do you think? Did we connect to a lot of these things? Not everybody will, but there are some people who kind of feel this greatly on a high level, and they're wondering sometimes what's going on, what's wrong with them, you know, with other things. I mean, you know, of course, you know, always go to a therapist or anything if you ever have any kind of, if you feel any kind of situation. But these are some things just to consider on a day-to-day if you do feel a great number of these. So I'm going to end off end this video off by sharing some benefits of being a highly sensitive person. Because as I said, it's not necessarily a negative. It's just that you go through this world differently, and you know, it's just about identifying it and learning how to kind of, you know, navigate. So some benefits are finding it quite easy to get an accurate sense of people. So with that, you can, you know, kind of get, you'll may find it easier to get an accurate sense of people and who they are. Next, knowing how people are feeling without them having to tell you. So that's where that intuitive nature is, and all of that, where that kind of come in. Then next is naturally empathizing with others, right? Next is naturally intuitive, which you know, I said before, and spiritual. Next is being naturally artistic in one way or another. Another is a deep appreciation for nature, the arts, and beauty. Another is having a soulful nature. And another is having a high EQ. If you don't know what high EQ is emotional quotient, or in other words, emotional intelligence, right? Next is enjoying time in meditation and contemplation. Then we have frequent, vivid, meaningful dreams. And last, we have conscientiousness. Conscientiousness. There we go. All right. All right. So that, just in case if you never heard of about highly sensitive people, just bringing some awareness to it. You know, a friend brought this to my attention one time, because she was like, she felt that it resonated with her, and then she also saw a lot of it in me as well. So she brought it to my attention, and then I started, like, you know, looking deeper into it, and finding out. I'm like, wow, like, you know, when you feel certain ways and you think you're like, no one gets you, no one gets you, no one gets you. And then you finally see things that's actually explaining some of who you are a little bit and explaining a lot more, making things a little bit like clearer. So, that's why. So it resonated with me. So here's this video. Highly sensitive person. All right. So if you have any questions or, you want to share something about being a highly sensitive person, please, share it down below in the comments. I am willing to hear, to listen, to see, and we can connect. See that we're not alone in this world as we go through our high sensitivity. All right. So until next time, peace.